Hello and welcome to a New York Rangers free agency Talking Rangers live stream. Got a couple moves today, one free agent signing and what seems to be a Keandre Miller trade, although there hasn't been any real official update since the initial report about 2 hours ago, or an hour now, about then. Miller going to Carolina, so we'll break down the moves today on the live stream, do it for a little bit. If you got any comments, leave them down below. Joe, free agency is here for day number one. How's it going?
It's good. I mean, we've had a little bit of a down period as far as like Ranger news. I mean, you had obviously the firing, bits and pieces every couple of weeks. I mean, obviously the Kreider trade a couple of weeks ago was pretty big. And then again, they gave up the pick. So there's really nothing too much as far as the draft. I mean, I know they got Malcolm Spence. I think maybe people saw him as a first round pick. So, like, I guess you could hold your hat on that. But
yeah,
in the general sense, there really hasn't been much going on in Ranger World. A lot of rumors, and then finally today, I feel like I don't know what you want to talk about first, but I mean, I guess the Gavrikov thing was rumored for a while, but at the same time, the Miller thing was rumored for a while. We don't even know what the Miller trade is. I mean, you know my thoughts on Miller, so
yeah,
I was pretty happy we got rid of him. We'll see what we get for him, but I guess we can start on Gavrikov first, because that's kind of already done deal. You like the deal? I mean, 7.7 for 7.
yeah.
I guess people thought he was going to get more, but yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the move. I think I'm kind of on board with that too. And the Miller stuff, I'm happy that trade is somewhat happening or getting finalized, whatever. We heard the initial news and then nothing's happened
I hate
since.
when that happens. That's so
Yeah,
annoying.
it's
Like, don't
just a
report the
waiting
news
game.
if you don't know the details.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a waiting game, but feels like some sort of draft compensation, whatever. We'll see how it all ends up playing out with Miller. But yeah, Gavrikov, similar to Miller, like you mentioned, something that we felt like it was coming for a while. Felt like there was a sense from Gavrikov's perspective as well that he wanted to be here. There was some rumors that have already come out, or some reports have already come out that he took less to come here. I don't know exactly how much less that was, but I think it's, in terms of value, I think it's good. 7 for 7. I was expecting probably 7.5, maybe 8, 7.7, something like that. So to get him at 7 over, or 49 over 7, the 7 million AAV, I think is solid. It's a much needed pair with, the new pair for Adam Fox. Look at his numbers last year. He was a part of a Kings team, was on the top pair a lot with the Kings last year, and they were one of the better defensive teams in the league. So it's a huge upgrade over, it's a massive hole, or I guess big hole filled, and hopefully creates a little bit more stability with this decor. Still a lot of work that needs to be done with it, but to bring in another guy that is, in the prime of his career, coming off of a season where 30 points, played all 82 games, was a part of a team that was really good defensively. Pair him with Adam Fox. Hopefully Fox can have a better year. We've talked about that a little bit as well. He's been a little bumpy recently, but I like the move. I think it's good, and I think it's good value. He had a career high in hits blocks last year with 140, 50 hits. Plus minus was plus 26, which was a career high. So did a lot of good things when you look at the numbers, and also reunites with, Panarin from their Columbus days. So what are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
maybe we don't know. Maybe that could have been impact. Where I know they're both Russian, and he said they both played with each other in Columbus, so maybe
Yeah.
that kind of led him towards the Rangers, or maybe just wanted to play with the Rangers just for the franchise. The Rangers actually just signed someone. I mean, it's like a lower tier signing, like Justin Dowling. I think he played for the Devils last year. He's played 152 games, 9 goals, 17 assists, 26 points. Probably just an NHL player, but yeah. I don't know. Nothing
That
big
was,
on that guy, but anyway, going back to Gavrikov, I think that I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, $7 million on the service level still seems like a lot, but for a guy that's kind of a one-dimensional defenseman, but I guess the cap's going up, and you really don't have any guys on the left side, especially after trading Miller. I know that I heard rumors saying you're going to move Schneider to the left side. I'm not really a fan of that, but
yeah.
if it gives him more playing time, maybe that kind of works out. But I don't know. I think that Gavrikov could be a good piece. We'll see. I mean, you know how it is with Ranger fans. I don't know how quick the leash is going to be on him. Or like if he plays bad for the first week, everyone is going to want him out. But it seems like from his advanced metrics, and I'm not really a big advanced metrics guy, but he grades out well defensively. So if you can get a guy that can just play good defense. I don't really know what kind of a skater he is. Like I haven't done much like research on him. I haven't really seen a lot of videos of him. If he could just skate well, move the puck well, and then play good defensively, I think he'll be a great addition. But again, it's too early to tell. I think it was a good signing, but like again, we'll see. Doesn't seem like this team's going to rebuild or retool per se. Maybe a tiny retool, but it seems like they're just going to try to add and make the playoffs. But I think Gavrikov can be a good player, but we'll see what happens. But like you said, I mean, like a couple guys got more money than him that were maybe expecting to get more, but I don't know. We'll see. The Rangers actually haven't even signed someone over $6 million since like Panarin, so it's been a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. It's definitely. And I think, like you mentioned, and two, just from Gavrikov's perspective, and I think the Rangers in general, just a little bit more hockey IQ. I mean, so many times we've seen the last couple of years with these defensemen, Keandre Miller, who I'm sure we'll talk about here in a second, but just dumb mistakes, bad turnovers, not getting the puck cleanly out of their zone, not breaking out well. So just those little things. They needed a guy from the left side. You pair him with Fox. I like
They
it, and we'll
they
see
were
what happens
also
with Schneider. It's a small sample size. He had the 12 games last year where he played at the left and was pretty effective. But if he gives him more playing
I think
time
the
as a
Rangers
second pair D, then it's okay.
I think the Rangers are actually looking at this guy, if I can recall at the 23 deadline.
Gavrikov?
Yeah, I think they were. I
Yeah.
think that
Well,
was an
he was.
option.
Yeah, he was dealt to Kings that year. So
That was in the quick trade.
yeah. Um, I guess. I mean, it's kind of what we have on him, right? 400, just some other numbers in terms of career stuff. 6 years in the league. The last 2.5 have spent, of course, spent in LA. 435 games, 135 points, plus minus around plus 24 for his career. 676 blocks, 451 hits. So some of the numbers, average time on ice is 21-12 for him over 6 seasons. I guess the Miller stuff, we could kind of transition even that into that a little bit now as well. Like we heard the news that he's going to get dealt to Carolina, or at least that's what it seems like. We haven't heard anything since, but either way, I think we both agree that this is the right move. It's the move that needed to be made. We're both on board of getting rid of Keandre Miller. It's just a matter of the compensation and what they're going to get and when that's going to come out. But what was your initial thoughts on the Miller trade?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, kind of know my thoughts on him. Where I think he had talent, but it just never came into fruition with the Rangers. Like he made way too many mistakes. Was a pretty lazy player, I think. I don't think he worked hard enough. Was very soft. Could skate like the wind, but like never really tried to carry the puck. And I just feel like for the amount of upside you have, comparing it to his actual production, it just wasn't there. And when he's an RFA and you got to pay him, at this point, it just didn't make any sense to extend him and try to get what you can out of him. I mean, it kind of sucks that there's another draft pick wasted. I mean, I don't know if you saw what I tweeted, but since 2017, every single first round pick that they've drafted is off the team, and they traded all of them. But he had talent. He's got upside. He's very fast. He could skate really well, but he's not really good offensively and doesn't bring much of that gritness you need, I think, as playing as a defenseman in the league. For someone that, like, you either got to do one of two things, or three things maybe. You got to be an elite defenseman, like elite defensive defenseman. He's not. You got to be a physical guy that can skate. He's not physical. Or you got to be a great offensive defenseman. And he doesn't really have a set kind of role of what kind of defenseman he is. And he makes too many mistakes. And I just think at that point where you're making the mistakes and it just seems like the effort level isn't up to standard. You got to move on from him. Can he still be a good defenseman? Maybe. I still think that maybe he could be a forward in this league just because of how fast he is. But I think it was the right move. We'll see what they get for him. I don't know. Maybe I heard maybe a first. I really don't believe they'll get a first for him.
It
We'll see,
feels
though.
like from some of the reporting when the initial news broke that, Carolina has the 2 first, Rangers are.
I don't
Seems
think
like
they're going to get a first
one
round
of
pick for
those.
him.
But it's centered around draft compensation. So
I just don't believe they're getting a first round pick for him. I could be wrong.
I wouldn't
We'll
complain.
see. Maybe Carolina gets a little desperate. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess you're giving up not such a high first round pick. I know they have the Stars first round pick too, but I don't know. I don't think he's worthy of that. Just because we'll see. We'll see. I mean, a first round pick, I think I'd be okay with. I think that that's kind of what his value can be as the highest point. If you would say like his value at his peak could be returning a first round pick. So maybe if you get that. I don't know. Maybe that's the cost of doing business, though, in the division where the Rangers are like, hey, you want him? He's going to stay in our division. We're getting a first-round pick.
And he's still, he's 25 years old. If Carolina sees something in him and where they can get him in their system and work with him and kind of – he's got a lot of natural ability, but really turn him into an all-around or try and turn him into a more well-rounded defenseman because he's far from that right now.
Yeah.
Like hockey IQ-wise, it's not there. How many times would he turn the puck over into their own zone and it would result in a goal? I mean, I've seen the game against the Stars, that clip already resurfaced again today. There's just so many dumb moments.
Did it twice against the Panthers in the
I
don't remember what game it was, but it was like twice in the power play, and he tries clearing the puck out twice, and then he scored both on both those power plays.
Yeah, and he's relying way too much on his length, and we've talked about it so many times where he get beat and he kind of just put his stick out there and try and make a latch ditch effort to whatever it is, to break up a pass, get in front of a shot, whatever it is. It's just, he was never, the physicality wasn't there. The hockey IQ wasn't there. The natural ability was, but everything else wasn't. So from Carolina's perspective, right, he's 25. And another thing too, I would say with Miller is he's regressed. And I know we've talked about this in previous episodes, but it's not like this has been something Miller, he's consistently gotten worse. Like his worst 2 years have really come in the last 2 seasons. You were starting to see some positives with Keandre Miller. Actually, you kind of going into last season, there was a potential there for him to break out, especially after the year he had in 22-23, where offensively it was his best year. You expected a big thing out of big season out of him in the conference finals year against Florida, and that never came true. He got worse, and this year was by far his worst. So that's another negative to this all. But Hurricanes' perspective, I mean, maybe they see something in him, and again, maybe the Rangers are playing a little bit of that hardball where it's, we're going to trade him in division and deal him also to a playoff team, then you're going to have to give us more than just second round pick or whatever. Give us a first round pick. So we'll see how that all ends up playing out, but it's the right move. So I guess the rest of the defensive core, how you feel it's going to shake out, right? We talked about Schneider potentially moving to the left side, and that could pair him with Borgen essentially on the second pair. So you'd have Gavrikov, Fox, Borgen, and then Schneider. Is that how you see it playing out?
Probably. Again, I kind of said I didn't really like that idea, but I've seen some reports saying that or thinking about doing that. I mean, I don't really like a defenseman on his off side. Maybe on like the power play if he wants to get a little bit of a one-timer, but outside of that, I mean, pinching is going to be difficult, on your backhand side. So it's going to be tough to stop those initial rushes. It's an adjustment period. I don't like it, but maybe they will do it. We'll see. I mean, I guess if you look at it as like, okay, you're getting Schneider more playing time, then it makes sense.
I think that's the way they view it.
I don't know. Like I said, I prefer them not to do it, but it seems like they were kind of set on doing that. And this defense core isn't great anyway.
No.
But I guess it won't hurt, but we'll see what happens. If he kind of struggles, kind of really deflating his value. But at this point, who cares? I mean, what kind of value does he have anyway? I think they like him though. I do think the Rangers really like his game. So
Yeah. And in the third pair is interesting because you'd assume it's going to be something of Matthew Robertson, Susie, and Vakanainen for that left pair, for that left
dude, they got to get rid of
D
Carson
third
Soucy. I mean,
pair.
they got to
Yeah.
get rid of. He's so bad. He's so
Assuming it's
bad.
Vakanainen or Robertson, one of those guys. And then you're probably still going to have to, one of these days, acquire another defenseman potentially here, a right-handed
Yeah.
defenseman to be that third pair, whoever the Rangers, whoever that is. We'll see if that happens today, whenever, but you'd assume they'd have to hit the market for that as well. There's no way you can slide out of the three, Robertson, Susie, and Vakanainen. You can't put two of those guys, move one of those lefties over to the right side and have a lefty play right side on the third pair. You probably have to go out and sign somebody else. So that's something to keep an eye on. Just rounding out this roster at this point in terms of depth.
It just doesn't like how many.
It's still ugly though as you get deeper.
But how many defensemen in the league play their offside? Like I can't even think of one. I could be wrong. There could be more than you think, but still, like
just the Rangers are train wreck defensively.
I don't think it's a smart move.
No, and that's why I do expect them to, and I think most people are on board, sign another right-handed, or not another one, but sign a right-handed defenseman to be your right-handed on the third pair, and then probably Vakanainen, right? If I had to guess, out of those three, I mean, Susie's the worst. Probably Vakanainen.
Susie's definitely 100% the worst.
I would probably say Vakanainen would probably get it over Robertson, but that's something to watch in the preseason and training camp. And those could also flip-flop, but you want some continuity there too. I mean, we saw that last year with the Rangers. Every game, it was a different combinations, it felt like. So it's still a work in progress. I don't even know if I want to call it a work in progress. It's still a Gavrikov's a good move, but it's still a weakness.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, who the hell knows?
I mean, anybody else you have on your radar? Any other moves you think?
I was hoping they'd sign a couple like middle to bottom six like guys that could kind of play well. I was looking at like someone like Anthony Mantha, but he already signed. Some guy like they need more toughness on this team. This team's too easy to play against. You know, like they just get the crap beat out of them every game. Outworked. They need an aggressive guy that can work hard. But who the heck knows? I mean, it's the same thing every year with this team. They have way too many soft guys on this roster. I'd say this. They got to toughen up.
Yep. I guess I'm thinking, what do you think's gonna happen with Cooley? Obviously restricted free agent now. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Cooley, like, what are your thoughts on
that? Yeah, I guess we could talk about that too. Are you concerned that that's not done yet?
Yeah, I am a little bit.
He's someone that could definitely be getting offer sheeted. Yeah. I don't know what Drew's waiting for.
I don't know what he is either. I'm surprised and a little concerned. We just talked about physicality. If there's one guy that gives it 100% every single night, it is Cooley. I believe he's fourth in the NHL in hits last year. He led the Rangers.
I don't know why you would even take a risk of him being offer sheeted.
Yeah.
I think you give him the amount that probably goes to, I guess they're trying to play a hardball here. We're like, okay, we're going to try to give him value that the offer sheet wouldn't be equivalent to a first round pick. Like they want to pay him probably less than what would give them a first round pick, where like say if a team offer sheeted them, they'd get the first round pick. So I don't know, maybe they're just playing hard, like really hardball with him, but for a young guy that
there's no need though.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless he doesn't want to resign. Maybe he told the Rangers I don't want to resign, but then I think they would have traded him though. So I don't know.
Yeah,
The
that's
Rangers,
one way to look at it. I mean, I don't.
he's someone that they like. That's got to be done soon, right? You got to
Yeah,
imagine that'll eventually be done.
yeah, it should have been done already. And I don't really know why. What's the reason of playing hardball with him? Just get it done. He's one of your better young players. One of the only guys in this team that goes out there every night and gives it his all. Um, so yeah, I'd lock him up. I don't know what they're waiting for. And then just another note: Zach Jones and Kaliev out. So not that that's much
Yeah,
of
we
a
saw that. I
surprise. But
mean,
the Zach Jones
Kaliev,
era
who
is officially
cares?
over.
He was barely here. We claimed him, and I
No,
don't know. Jones never really got a chance with this team for better or
nope.
for worse. So
And then he had some issues with the healthy scratches last year. He was pretty public about it too. So that was something that
yeah, I don't
the
think Drew probably
relationship
liked
there is
that.
still
And
pretty
then
fractured.
at the same time, it just seemed like it was time to move off of him. I guess they tried
Yep.
trading him. No one really wanted him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I
it
mean, we'll
was.
see as far as like you were kind of saying with like the depth. I think this team definitely needs more depth as far as defensemen.
Yeah.
I don't see them. I don't see them. I'll say this: I don't see them going out and getting another like not big time defenseman, but like a more notable name defenseman. I think they're just going to go bargain
Yeah.
shopping and try to get someone that can maybe fill in here and there. Like I think for the most part, like it or not, I think their defensive core is set for the season. I don't think they're really going to add any big like any guys that are going to have consistent roles on the team. I think you're
Yeah.
going to see the combination of Borgen, Schneider, Fox, Gavrikov, Vakanainen. Did I already say him? I don't know. Susie and Robertson, which it's a shame that we have to have, no offense to Carson Susie, but it's a shame that guy's on this team because he is awful. Cannot skate. He's slow. He's literally the opposite of what you want for a defenseman.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what went in,
I think they might.
what went into his head making that trade, right?
I don't know. I mean, it was
That
half
was
these
one
trades
of the
were weird.
stupidest trades I've ever seen. They were trying
Yeah.
to make a run for the playoffs. They just got rid of Lindgren. You know what? Why don't we replace Lindgren with someone even slower than Lindgren?
Yep.
So stupid. Chris Drury's made some good moves, and he's made some absolutely moronic moves. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get
And I
it.
mean, last year was just full of trades left and right, and just action packed from that perspective. Like we go back all the time, the whole Trouba situation, and they go out and get Borgen, the Kako, and then they'll tell you how they had their eyes on these guys for a while.
Yeah, no, we were looking at.
We were looking
You
at
know
him
what
for a
though? To
while.
be fair, they were looking at Gavrikov.
Yeah,
So
oh, that is. I'm talking about last year's moves.
I know, but
Like
I'm
they
just
said they
saying,
had
like,
their eye on Borgen, but Gavrikov, yeah, I mean there was definitely mutual interest. It felt like Gavrikov wanted to be here, wants to play next to Fox and the Rangers. That was the worst kept secret. That was obvious, but they did have their eye on him. So what does that mean? It's gonna blow up in their face now?
he's probably gonna suck. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was looking at the contract, no move for 5 of the first 7.
So he's guaranteed to be here for 5 years.
Pretty much. So if he
How many?
sucks,
Here's the
it's
question: How many of those years will make the playoffs?
his whole contract
Yeah,
or his
his whole
5 no
contract.
trade?
How
His
many
whole
playoff?
contract
How many times will Gavrikov be on the Rangers
for 7
for a
years?
season that they made a playoff or make the playoffs?
Probably more. I think like 4 times.
That's pretty optimistic. I don't know. I was thinking like one.
It's
Maybe
what
I'm being too
I
harsh.
think it's not 4. I think this is a team. This team to me, maybe 3 times. I don't know. I could see this team over the next couple years making a couple first round exit runs.
I could see them making. Yeah, I could. You know what? You're right. I
how
could see
feel.
them like just getting into the playoffs and then.
Yeah. Like this year, they scream not being as bad as last year, but just getting in.
All right.
They couldn't come back in games last year. This year, they'll have a couple more comebacks. They'll
They'll
get to the
get
playoffs and
the
lose in
coaching
5.
bump
Yeah, exactly.
where like they're more competitive, but
Yeah, that's what I think it's going to happen. I think the next 2 years, this screams like a first round exit type of.
I agree. I think that's a fair statement.
So, just getting there now. How many playoff series will Gavrikov be a part of that they actually win? That's probably maybe 1 or 2.
I don't think they're gonna win any, but yeah. I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, 7 years now,
First
they've
they would
got
have
to at
to
least
they would
get
have to
west.
finish inside the top 3 of the division because they're not beating any of the teams from the Atlantic. It's just there's no
Yeah.
chance. They have no chance of
Yeah.
beating any of those teams.
Just in terms of Dowling, who they just picked up, kind of an up and down player.
Seems
In
like more
terms
of
of
just I was about to say practice squad. Seems more of a AHL player.
yeah,
I don't know. Played for the Devils last year.
Devils. He
That,
played more games with the Devils last year. Just with all the injuries, 52 games, which is the most he's played in his career. But prior to that, it was 2, then 22, 27, 29. So kind of your 20 to 25 games of him fill in injuries, whatever, scratches, whatever. He'll fill in every once in a while. That's kind of what just AHL depth.
he won't be
Signings.
in there. He's not going to be an NHL player.
No, he won't be in there very often. Which, hopefully, I'm hoping they could sign somebody that's a bottom 6 player that's can be productive. Like Justin Dowling's really basement shopping a little bit better than that.
Well, I'm assuming that they're not signing him to be an NHL player, right?
No, probably AHL. I don't know the contract details exactly.
No, in the Rangers, he'll be like in the lineup playing instead of like Berard or Perot, right? Like how
It's very likely.
how long till one of those guys or he's in for like Berard or Perot? I think
Don't
it's
worry.
pretty.
It's a new culture here. Bro's gonna play.
It'll be like at the beginning of November, and he'll be playing first line, and
Yeah.
Perot and Berard will both be scratched. I mean, I'm not really that big of a Berard guy. We'll see what happens with him, but I mean,
I
Perot.
like Berard.
I like his. I not that I don't like him. I just don't know if he's gonna make it.
Fair enough.
I like him a lot better than some of the guys we've had, but
Yeah, I like Berard. I think see what he could do this year. I like the way he plays.
he gives
I
a
don't
lot.
think he'll be much.
He gives a
He's not
lot
a
of
franchise
intensity.
cornerstone, but yeah.
But like they'll be
Parsons,
like
another name that's still in there, still in the fold here from the bottom 6 perspective.
they'll be like I'm telling you right now. There'll be games where like the Rangers will play some shit. Especially, I feel like a guy like Sullivan maybe relies more on the veteran guys just because it seems like that's what kind of a coach he is. So there'll be games where we'll be pissed off that so and so is not playing, and that what's his face will be playing.
Yeah. Oh, there is going to be some clunkers without a doubt. We're going to get some. It'll be the grind of the season. It'll be like January 6th, some Tuesday night in January.
January
8th,
6th.
whatever. I don't know why that just popped up in my head. But January 8th,
Where
whatever.
were you on January 6th?
I was not thinking of that January 6th. That
I'm
just
just
popped up
kidding,
in my
but
head.
yeah.
But January 8th,
You're
whatever.
right. Though. It'll be like a
Tuesday in
random
January. They'll be playing the
Justin
freaking
Dowling
Predators on the road.
First line minutes.
Yep, and we're gonna get some combination of Susie. We get Robertson out there. We'll get Vakanainen, like Gavrikov will be out or whatever. They'll have to put Schneider up with like Fox or however they play it out. And then you're gonna get some disgusting line of Justin Dowling and Johnny Brzezinski.
That Rempe will be like in the second line.
Yeah, Rempe and Edstrom will be like second line with Rempe. It'll be disgusting, and they'll lose like 4-0. That'll be it.
Jeez.
And we'll sit there and watch, and I'll pay a fortune for MSG or for the Gotham Sports app. So it's all part of the experience. Yeah, I like Broad. I like Broad, though. I do. I think I just like the way he plays.
Yeah.
North and south, he drives to the net, brings the energy. He does a lot of what the Rangers need. But we'll see. I mean, he's only played, 30 games last year, 35 games, whatever it was.
So still early.
And he is a little bit on the smaller end, which could impact him. Obviously, I think he's only 5'9". So
maybe less. I don't know. I mean, how many times do athletes like have a listed height and then they're actually that? In actuality, they're probably a little bit smaller.
Yeah. But
I don't know.
All right,
I
how
guess
many times? Sorry, you could go.
No, you're good. You're good.
How many times
You're
this
good.
year will Perot or Berard or one of those guys be either not healthy scratch, but like knocked down? How, or I should say, how soon will Perot go from, let's say, second line to like third line buried?
A lot. Like, do you want me to give you a number?
I guess how early? How long does it take? What is it? 10 games? Is it 5 games? They give Pro 5 games. He doesn't do anything, and they say, "All right,
I
third
think it's gonna
line,
be like 6,
6 games."
6, 7, maybe. I don't know. It's gonna be. Sorry, it's gonna be early. It's gonna be early.
Yeah.
I'm curious though. We could be wrong about Sullivan. Maybe he's more of a leash guy because they're not gonna fire him. I think they gave him way too much money. He's gonna be here for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, here was which holy crap, I can't talk. Here is what I was gonna say. I guess you can kind of like we went down a little bit of a rundown of what the defense will be, but as of now, we can kind of see a team is like kind of like this. So like Lafreniere, Miller, Perot. Well, these lines are not going to be remotely close, but I'll just put them how I have them. Then you got Panarin, Cooley, Trocheck, Othman, Zibanejad, Berard, Edstrom, Carrick, Rempe. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking the core is going to look like as far as forwards. Like maybe throw in like Brodzinski obviously will be in there because he has to be, right? He always has to get playing time, and then like Parsonen might get some playing time, but I don't know. How'd you grade that forward core? Like I'd probably say like B- to C+.
Yeah, I mean, out of that group, what you like Miller?
We'll see. I mean, he's a little bit older and he
Yeah.
could get injured, but yeah, I mean, on paper, if he's fully healthy, yeah, I like how he plays.
Lafreniere is turned
Still,
into
nobody knows what Lafreniere is going to
unknown.
be. Yeah,
He turned into player on the rise that was hitting his stride to gets a contract and disappears. So he's an unknown. Pro is still an unknown. And then what were the other 3?
in the top 6, or
That you just named off?
well, Zibanejad, Panarin, Trocheck, Lafreniere, Perot,
Trocheck.
Cooley.
Trocheck.
Actually, you know, we can't. Can I not say Cooley actually? Because he's technically
not on the team technically. Cooley, you like a lot. Out of the guys, like if you had to tier them, the most trustable ones, or I guess the best out of that group, probably Cooley and Miller. And then
just like
your
consistency wise, you mean? Like
yeah, consistency wise, night in, night out.
Yeah.
Trocheck, I would say, even though he had a
Could
little
be
bit of a
that.
down year last year, he's
Could be in
still a
that.
guy that I trust.
I'd give him a benefit of the doubt and
Yeah.
put him in that category. I think he's done enough. Even like you said, he wasn't great last year, but you just gotta hope it was a down year.
So that's like your most trustable. Really, not even just in top 6 on the team in general.
Well, I guess
And
you know what the
then-
fourth line's going to give you every night, right? They should be pretty consistent, like Carrick, Rempe, and Edstrom.
Edstrom, you know, yeah, you're right. Mika's Mika. You know what you're gonna get out of him in a bad.
You know, yeah, that is true. We do know we're going to get out of him inconsistency.
Yep, and defense that's fallen off a cliff. Defensively, he has not even good at that anymore, which he used to be, obviously. Panarin, you know what you're gonna get. But it's not what the Rangers necessarily need. Like he's gonna score. He's gonna put up points, all that stuff offensively. He's East and West type of game, all that stuff. But he's not gonna back check. Not gonna play very well. Like he's
no defense, no
lazy
back check.
sometimes. You know, he's not really. When the ice shrinks, when you get against physical team, Panarin is pretty easy to take out of the game. So from the offensive perspective and the talent, it's there, but everything else really isn't. So I'd say like Panarin is, I don't know. And Lafreniere is kind of unknown as well. Your unknowns are Lafreniere, Perot. You still don't know what he brings, right?
Othman.
I think Othman. I think
Even Berard is unknown.
Berard's unknown. Parsonen, we still really don't know. He only played 11 games or something like that.
I think I have good understandings of. I'd say on the younger side, like definitely. I think I know what Edstrom and Brown are great.
Yeah.
They're both going to be kind of good fourth line players. You know,
Yep.
that are going to be able to bring the same thing every night. Like their role, I think, is solidified, and I think there's only upside from both those guys. Less so on the Rempe side, more so on the Edstrom side, but the other guys in the top 9, or you'd think they would be in the top 9, have very, very questionable things with them. Like,
Yeah.
you don't really know what their upside is, or even their floor. Like,
Which
hard
Ranger right now do you trust the least?
in general, or like for where they're at in their career.
Just in general. Like just the way they play.
I mean, well, I could say like I don't know. I could say like Matt Robertson, but I'll give you the call.
Well,
I know what you mean. Zibanejad.
Yes,
Zibanejad.
Mika, yeah.
Or Carson Soucy. He's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like in the sense of like guy I trust the least, where for what they're expecting out of them. Yeah, Zibanejad or Carson Soucy defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Hot take, maybe Fox too, because he wasn't great last year.
Yes, and that's what I was gonna get to is, and I was gonna talk about this earlier with the Gavrikov signing, but then we moved on to Miller. Fox has got to have a significantly better year this year. Quietly, Fox has been very down. I don't know if it's an
I mean, he was
injury,
pretty bad at
whatever.
that
Ever since,
tournament, and that kind of really put gasoline on the fire for how bad he's been.
Exactly. Feels like ever since that,
He also wasn't named to that like original team, so
the
maybe
Olympic team.
maybe they won't take him. They definitely will though, because the head coach is going to be his head coach. Like that would look so bad if like Sullivan doesn't take Fox.
It's crazy though to think that he feels like he should be a lock, and the fact that he's not in the original.
Well, now I think he's definitely a lock unless he gets hurt because his coach is going to be the coach of the team.
And then probably they'll probably also have David Quinn might be on his staff as well.
Probably.
Right?
I think he's on the staff in the Four Nations. So yeah.
Four Nations, him and Tortorella, right? I think we're
bunch of Ranger coaches, or 3 Ranger coaches right there. Quinn.
And we still can't wake up.
Well, Quinn is back too though, so that's good for Quinn. But you know what though? Here's this. I think Zibanejad's best seasons were with Quinn.
Yeah.
At least like eye test wise. Like I know he had a big season with Gallant, his best like point.
David
season.
Quinn unlocks him.
But I think watching him play, especially in that one season in 1920 with Quinn, is as best as I've ever seen him. I know he didn't score as many points as he did 3 years ago. Again, the season was cut short, but I mean, just watching him as a player, he just looked so aggressive and so downhill as a player. So, maybe Quinn unlocks Zibanejad, but I don't know. Who knows? I mean,
yeah.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Hopefully this season, barring injuries, obviously barring injuries, there could be injuries any part of the season, any player, but like I think I would like to see consistency as far as lines and pairings. I feel like as big time hockey players, you and me, obviously big men's league guys.
Yes, sir.
Consistency and chemistry is very important. And I think if you can just hold Fox with the one partner for the whole year and not try to mismatch, I think that could definitely help him. So maybe the Gavrikov signing will really help him too. But again, he's got to prove on his end though.
Yeah. Just got an update from Molly Walker, or not Molly Walker, Emily Kaplan. My bad. The Rangers and Hurricanes are still working on a trade that will send K'Andre Miller to Carolina. It is expected to get done today, so hopefully an update soon on that officially happening. But yeah, in terms of, I guess if you wanted to, let's create the tier list. Maybe we should do this another episode. This might be actually good to do.
When did you tweet that?
I didn't. There's no tweet. I just got it through ESPN.
Oh, maybe she's on like ESPN right now.
Yeah. But in terms of most trustable, so it's Fox feels like kind of on the bubble right now. Igor, not a skater, but obviously like in terms of it would be Miller, Trocheck.
He's still pretty inconsistent though, Igor,
Igor. Yeah, but he's I don't know, he's the furthest thing. There's a lot more
You're right.
issues than, in my opinion, than just Igor. Least trustable would be like your Lafreniere's, your Mika's, your Susie. I
This
mean, you
team
even
is.
know what you're going to get out of Brzezinski at this point.
He shouldn't even. I'm sorry. Like people hate him. People hate on me for saying this. A lot of people agree, though. I think too, where it's like, Brzezinski should not be in the NHL. I'm sorry, dude. Like
No,
he gives
he
effort,
plays hard, but
but I don't
he's
care. I
he
don't
he's a
care.
he's a
He's
he's a
not an
third
NHL
line player on a
player.
rebuilding team.
He's not. He should not be on the fourth line of an NHL team, unless you're really bad, which maybe will
The
be
Rangers
bad.
are really bad.
That's true. Okay, maybe I stand corrected. He could, I think on a decent team, he could be a guy that comes into your lineup if needs to. Like if someone gets hurt, but I don't know.
He's not
He just got way too much playing time. I feel like over the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's a 20, 25, 30 game a year guy. He's not someone that should be playing 50 plus games.
How many games did he play last year?
I believe he played like 55 to I think just under 60 actually. 53, 55, somewhere around there. I think it was. I could check.
Hey, at least we don't have Zibanejad and Kreider. That line that line will never be again. So we don't have to deal with them playing with each other. So
Yep.
maybe he gets like all sad and
know,
motivates him to play better without his best friend.
it's going to be a little bittersweet. We're not going to have
Where's the
how
hug?
long does it take for a new right wing to play with Mika and Kreider?
Yeah.
No more of
who's gonna
that.
be the new one now? Like, you know what I mean? Who's gonna be the new duet where they're like, how long does it take for them to play with
Parson and Mika?
Yeah, Parson and Mika, strong third line right there.
It is. Yeah, who is it going to be the new one? I could see it being.
Maybe it's just gonna be Trocheck and Panarin.
Yeah, who's going to fit next to them at left wing? Yeah.
I don't like here's the question.
What about Lafreniere and Mika?
I'll say this, kind of building on to what you just said. Like, I don't think that will be something consistent, but like, cause who knows? But do you think Mika will play center or wing?
Probably center because you're gonna have Parson in at wing. You've got Pro at wing.
I wish they still had Kaapo Kakko.
Yeah. Are we gonna see second line Rempe this year?
No, Rempe will never play more than third line or fourth line. He's not going to be a third line player.
Let's see.
I can see Etchner making an appearance, so maybe.
Should have 2 million subs. I wish.
What is that? What is that thing? $10 Trump eggs. It's a weird.
Do you do memberships or meet and greets? Not
I
quite.
I got a feeling this is someone that one of us knows that's trolling us.
Yeah, definitely. 7-year, 49. Trade young defenseman. Wonder who that could be.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm trying to find Brzezinski's game played. I'm trying to find him here.
He's played a bunch.
Yeah, I believe it was definitely over 50. Yeah, 51. Which was actually he played more 2 years. He played 57 in 2023, 2024. Wow, I feel like last year he played more than we probably knew about him than when we probably felt Brzezinski's presence more last year because they just suck so bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
Came up on our feed. Well, we appreciate you watching. In terms of memberships, no, we don't have memberships yet, but once we get monetized, yes, we will have memberships. So,
you think that that Quick plays another year, or you think this is probably his last year?
This might be it. Probably it.
Kind of feel bad for him that he's. I mean, maybe it's not that he doesn't really care anymore. He's won the 3 cups. He's made his money.
Yeah,
maybe he just wants to have his family live out where he grew up, like the Connecticut area.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel bad for him. He's sailing off into the sunset, playing in New York. He's got the cups. Nothing more left for him to prove. And he's playing his best hockey, actually, in a while. So he's having success. While the team's not having success, he's having success. And for a backup goalie, if you're having success, you got to be happy, even if the team's losing.
Mikael Grenlund just signed with Anaheim.
Really?
Anaheim's loading up.
They are.
They
It's
kind of got.
Rangers West.
I'm not a big Zegras guy, but it seemed like they didn't get a lot in return for him. I don't really know too much about the guy they gave up.
Interesting.
But
So the holdup on the Miller extension is the Canes continue to work on an extension with him.
how much money do you think he's going to get?
I don't even know.
$7 million?
I mean, if Gavrikov got 7 and Provorov got 8.5, yeah, it's somewhere around there.
I'd be so happy if that happens because he's not worth that much money. What if he just turns into like a beast and like next year he scores like 80 points?
Who, Miller?
Yeah.
Rangers face the Hurricanes in the playoffs and he just smokes us.
Miller lays out Panarin and takes him out of the series.
Yeah, or we get like the Dougie Hamilton goal in game 3 overtime. Instead, now it's Miller overtime and the Rangers collapse. It wouldn't surprise me. You think they do a video tribute for Miller? Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think all of them are going to get video tributes?
Well, sometimes they just say thank you.
Well, that's like if someone came at the deadline.
Yeah.
I don't believe.
Right. I mean, no, I think
Trouba hasn't played yet, right? I think he was on the Rangers when they played the Ducks.
Yeah, I think he was. No, but didn't they go out to? Yeah, you're right. No, when they faced Anaheim, it was late. That was that terrible 3-0 blown lead.
Yeah, I was watching it at the bar.
Brutal. Yeah, that was a good one.
I would have liked Kreider to get his own thing and have it all be about him, but I assume that what's his face is obviously going to get something too. Trouba, right? Him and Trouba are both like video packages.
They're probably both going to get good amount because Trouba was a captain.
That's true, yeah.
But Kreider.
What about Kakko? What do you think? He'll probably get a video package, but
yeah, he'll get a video. Who won't?
Lindgren probably has any of these guys played the Rangers?
No, Lindgren didn't because the Colorado they came early in the season. That was that bad game where they lost 5-4 or whatever. It was that crazy high scoring game. He hasn't come. None of them came back. Kakko, Hedel is hurt, but he didn't come back.
Yeah, but he was on the Canucks though, right? But obviously he didn't play.
I don't even know if the Canucks came back though.
What do you mean? They would only play the Rangers once.
Yeah, I mean, I mean the Canucks. I think they didn't. I think after the Cooley trade that they didn't go to the Garden. I mean,
what?
Or not the Cooley trade, the Hedel trade. After the,
they did.
They did?
As Miller played against them. You don't remember?
Oh, yes. Scored? That was the Saturday afternoon game.
Or like an empty net goal in that.
Yeah. You're right. That was the Saturday afternoon game they won on. That was Sam Rosen Day, wasn't it? I think it was the Sam Rosen retirement day, I think. Now I'm remembering it. Yes, they did come back. I remember that now. Who else?
There's going to be a lot of video packages from the video package team this year.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Will Jimmy Vesey get a video package?
I mean, this would be no, because he's technically left and came back already. He'll get a thank you.
Zach Jones?
Yeah, Zach Jones, he'll get a thank you. That's about it.
Yeah, just thank you for playing.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if Jones signed with the Ducks and there's the 2 video packages and then just thank you, Zach Jones.
I feel like at that point you got to do some respect and just make a little video package.
I mean, he's played barely any games, so you can't even.
Yeah. Hey. They did Roslovic got a thank you, didn't he?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember, but I'm sure he did. If he can get a thank you, anybody can get a thank you.
That'd be funny if they just completely. Here's a question. Did Tony DeAngelo get a thank you? What did he get?
I don't even remember. Well, that was so long ago now.
Georgie?
Imagine they were both on the same team and they had to thank them both on the Jumbotron.
That'd be so funny.
DeAngelo's back with the Isles. Found a new home in New York.
Yeah. Signed another 1-year deal.
Yeah, he's back with he's on the island now.
Yeah, the freaking
sticking around.
The Ducks are really going for it. It'd be fun. They're gonna pay all this money just to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, and let's be fair though, they did get Chris Kreider. I know it's a big name, but Kreider was awful. I mean, what did they even get out of Kreider this year?
That's true. I don't know.
You know, and Trouba sucks. So they've got some names, but how much actual production? Granlund's a good contract though. That's a good move.
I don't know why we're waiting so long for this, dude.
Long for all the
The
Miller
Miller
trade to
trade.
go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, better not fall through.
I feel like even if they don't know what the extension is, or that's still going through, like I don't think that would change up what the package is, right? Unless
No, I
unless they're
don't think
doing the
so.
deal either way, like
Well,
there's a
there was
trade,
a
there's a trade package where he. So, I don't. The thing is, though, I don't think they'd agree to do a trade with the Rangers unless he signs because he's an RFA. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
there's a reporter I just saw now, um, that said he has the. I guess they have the package, but they're not releasing it until it's like official or whatever.
What's your guess? What do you think? Do you think they end up getting one of those first round
I
picks?
think they'll get a
That's it.
first, and maybe I don't know, another mid-round pick.
I guess they won't trade anyone off their roster. That would make no sense.
No, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a player involved. Although there was a report a couple days ago that the Rangers were looking to see if they can get an NHL level player back, but now it feels like it's just going to be compensation or draft compensation. Um, you think the Rangers throw in like a late draft pick to get the first? Maybe, I don't know.
You think it's just yeah? I kind of think that's very possible where the Rangers add in
Like a late
something
pick.
into the trade to get that
Yeah,
pick elevated from like a second to a first.
yeah. It's going to be a late first either way.
Hey, listen, the last time we had the Carolina Hurricanes first round pick, we got the first overall pick.
Yeah, that
So,
is true. And hopefully, if we get that again, we can hit on the first overall pick.
well, it would be our pick because I think the pick that we got for Lafreniere was our pick, and then the other pick.
I'm curious. What were your thoughts on the Islanders draft day? Trading Noah Dobson, and it felt like they were going to move up for Higgins, and they never did. That was
I think Schaefer's
interesting.
going to be solid. We'll see.
Schaefer is, but
I think they
I
got
was.
Victor Ekholm's. I think a good player. I think that was a good pick.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I thought for
I
sure
thought they
though.
were going to maybe the Bruins didn't want to do it. The Bruins
Yeah,
wanted
and
Higgins.
it's also too. And I was just thinking about this as well as the draft was going on. Those teams knew that the Islanders, not maybe desperate, but wanted to move up for him, and they probably just made the price too steep.
That's
To
probably what it
move up,
was. I mean, you
which
still
is
get 2 first round picks for Dobson. I think that's a good trade.
yeah. And they obviously had the first overall pick, so you take the best player in the draft. But
I think the Sharks are going to be a team in a couple of years where you're going to look at them being like an elite team if these prospects do eventually kind of
yeah,
flourish. Because Michael Meese is pretty good.
you obviously already have Celebrini.
Smith, Ekholm, Celebrini, obviously.
Yeah, Wenberg.
Oh, hey, how many guys have overtime winners in the conference final in the league right now? Not many. Alex Renberg does. So put some
Barclay
respect on him.
Goodrow.
That's
Another
true.
one.
Him too. Both those
Both on
guys.
San Jose. They
Both,
got that
yeah.
clutch gene. San Jose's got to get their goalie situation figured out.
No, I think that Askarov kid's going to be good.
How much did he? Yeah. I mean, they've gone through so many goalies the last couple of years.
I think they had Aiden Hill.
Before Vegas.
Yeah.
They might have. Yeah, who was their goalie during? Was it Hill? Yeah, they had him for a year.
They had like Martin Jones, James Reimer, Evgeny Nabokov,
Yeah.
Anton Niemi. They've had a bunch of goalies. I don't know.
Yeah.
When do you think the Miller trade goes through? Are we gonna have to wait like 3 hours for this?
I mean,
We're
it
gonna have to wait till tomorrow.
seems like today.
You think they make any other big moves, or you think that's it?
No, I think it's Gavrikov is going to be the biggest. I think they.
Not just
I
that. I
would
mean, like
predict.
trade wise, you think they're done trading?
Oh, trade. Yeah, I mean, unless if they trade Mika, but that's. I feel like that's just going to happen at a random time. If it does,
What I would
um,
say it's above 95% chance that he's on the team opening night.
yeah, I. Yeah, it's 95. I'd probably put it even at 99. I doubt he's traded. He's pretty close to it.
What
He's
about
pretty much.
Panarin? What do you
I'd
think
be
they do with?
shocked.
What do you think happens with Panarin?
I think Panarin's probably, if anything, a deadline. But
What would you say? One out of 10. What are the odds he's dealt this whole season in general? Would you say pretty
Panarin,
high?
I mean, I didn't think Kako was going to get dealt.
Yeah, but
Or
you
did
can't.
I?
I guess you can't really lose Panarin for nothing, though, right?
No, I forget. Was I predicting Kako to get dealt? I forget if I did or not. I don't know.
I don't
Either
remember.
way, Panarin, if I had to guess, he probably won't get dealt because the situation the Rangers are probably going to be in. I'd probably give it like a 4, a 3, maybe. The thing is I think the Rangers are going to be in a spot where maybe they do what they did last year and kind of soft sell if they're in that spot of like middle of the pack, not quite in the playoffs, but
Like that's the
still,
worst thing you can do, because
yeah,
then you start doing shit like the Susie thing where you're bringing cars and Susie, thinking,
yeah.
okay, we'll sell it off a bunch, we'll bring in stuff just to see
And
if
then
we can still
obviously
make the
the trade
playoffs,
as
and then
well.
you're in bad deals. Like the only
My big
benefit,
thing is I think if they're in the middle of the pack, they're gonna hang on and just roll with it, and then they'll lose Panarin for nothing, or could lose Panarin for nothing.
the only benefit of or not benefit, but like bright spot of Susie is I think he's only got 1 year left. Yeah, so next year they'll have Susie coming off the books. Buchanan signed for another year after this year. I think he's only making like 1.5, so I guess still a lot of money for a guy that's going to be your sixth, seventh defenseman, 6'7". Um, let's see, forwards coming off the books next year, none.
Actually, that's
Oh,
crazy. Granlund
guys,
got 7 million AAV for 3 years. That's a lot.
Panarin's coming off next year, and Brodzinski. Then they have Berard and Othman UFAs.
Yeah,
Where's Perot? He's not even on here. They don't even have Perot listed on the Rangers right now on Puckpedia.
Pro they don't have listed.
You know,
Interesting.
I think Perot's an RFA next year too. Maybe he's not. Maybe it's a 3-year entry level deal. He's got 2 years left on it. I don't know why he's not on here. Yeah, okay. I found his contract. He's got this year and next year, and then he's an RFA.
Mm. Who's that?
Perot.
Bro, oh yeah, because they burned a year of the ALC. Brought him up in the ALC and had him scratched when they were out of the playoffs, which is a joke.
And they got a bunch of these like mid to lower tier prospects. I guess maybe they give a chance, like this guy Chalmar, Laba.
What's your way too early Rangers prediction?
As far as
Like
like what,
season wise, just
like where they end up as a team.
yeah.
I think they're going to finish right outside the playoff mark.
Think it's gonna be
Going to be the same exact season.
is it gonna be that's what I'm curious with this Rangers team. Like, is this going to be a
There's so much coach you can do. I could be wrong. Maybe the coach is the reason why they didn't make the playoffs, but I don't know.
is this gonna be I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but is this gonna be one of these years where they were kind of like they were in 2019, right before the COVID, during the COVID shutdown, where
I
they're
don't
kind
know.
of
There's
like
a lot of
a
younger guys in that
team.
team, though. I mean, this team has mostly older guys.
It's mostly older, but you still have Cooley, Perot, you'll have Berard. Maybe you get something out of Othman.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd say they're going to be looking in the playoffs. I think they have too much talent to not be contending. Or like, as much as I would love for them to get the first overall pick, I can't see them being that bad.
No.
You think that there's a chance that a team offshoots Cooley?
I mean, the longer they wait, yeah.
When do you start getting nervous?
Cooley? I mean, now? Are you nervous? I mean,
I think I'd probably take a first round pick for him though.
Cooley?
Yeah. As much as I
would.
really love him on the team and I think he could do great stuff. I mean, he had 45 points last year in a
Yeah.
limited role, no power play, but I don't know. I think if
I
you
wouldn't take a first
it just
for him.
makes no sense what the Rangers do. They're trading the young guys for picks, but keeping the old guys.
Yeah.
So,
It's Rangers hockey.
they got nothing for Kreider, really. So, who do they even draft? Who did they draft with that pick? I'm curious. I was pretty busy over the weekend, so I wasn't really paying attention too much to the draft. I know they drafted, like I said, that the guy from, I think Erie Otters or whatever, that Malcolm Spence guy.
Yeah. They got the third. For Kreider, they took that Sean Barnhill, I think it was. They had 2 thirds.
Let's see. I'm on Puckpedia right now. Let's see. Or not Puckpedia, Wikipedia. It was in the 3rd round. Let's see. Rangers. Where are the Rangers? The Rangers. Where the heck is this? It's from Toronto via Anaheim. They got Artemyan.
Oh, Gonchar. Yeah,
Is
from Russia.
his dad Sergei Gonchar?
He plays in Russia.
Is his dad the guy that Sergei Gonchar?
You think Malcolm Spence is going to be any good?
I don't know. I haven't really done it. I saw a couple clips of him. Looks like he's an okay skater. Doesn't look like a great skater. He's also another left wing. The Rangers have a ton of left wingers.
Yeah.
Artemi? How do you even say that? Artemia? Or
What's Spence is 18? Yeah, he's 18.
His uncle is Sergei Gonchar. Okay. His brother's in the NHL. Oh, this kid's, the Gonchar guy is playing in America. Oh, wait, no, that's not America. Never mind. He's playing in the NHL.
No, he's in Russia.
Yeah, it's the minor league Russia.
Yeah. What about Felix Farhammer?
Who's that?
Their 7th round pick from Sweden.
Well, didn't they get some guy named Passmore? I saw that.
Passmore.
Where is he? I think
Evan Passmore. He plays for the Barrie Colts in the OHL.
Felix Farhammer. Yeah, wait. What round was
Passmore? Isn't that that's not what the Rangers need? A guy last name that says Passmore. It needs to be Shootmore.
Wait, what round was that guy taken in the 6th round?
Passmore 6th.
Yeah, Evan Passmore.
Samuel Jung was in the 6th. Zeb Lindgren, Ryan Lindgren's long lost brother, was in the 5th.
Oh,
Mikkel Eriksson was in the 4th, and then Gonchar was the 3rd. And then Barnhill 3rd, and then Spence, obviously.
Max Fried's blowing up right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Back-to-back days, the Yankees, a little off topic, but back-to-back days, the Yankees up 2-0, and now they're down 4-2. Good for the Yankees. Let's see. What were the other guys that drafted? The Spence. Was that it? Did we get everyone?
Another Lindgren, Barnhill, Sean Barnhill.
What round was that? 4th?
3rd. That was before Gonchar. Gonchar was 89th overall. Barnhill was 19 earlier at 70. He's a defenseman, USHL. Don't really know much about it at all. 6'6".
Let's see. What's his face? Spence is from Canada, right? Yeah.
How long until we see Spence, if we ever see him? What, 2 years?
What?
3 years? Something like that. Who even knows?
Probably. I'm gonna say never.
Yeah, I agree. I
Seems
don't
like a
think
guy
we'll ever
that
see
he'll never make
Spence.
the NHL. Just especially because he dropped. He was supposed to be like a first round pick, so there must be a problem with him.
EJ Emery. He'll be the next prospect we
He'll be
see.
like he'll be like Matt Robertson, where like he never makes it, but the team's probably gonna be bad, so they just throw him in.
Throw him out there, yeah.
I don't know. I still have hope in Perot.
Oh yeah, I do too. I'm not like worried about Pro. I just we didn't really see much of him last year. Not his fault. What about Saikora? What was he? He
I don't
was
know.
what
He was a second
2022?
round pick, I think.
Yeah, he's still in
Maybe he's a
Hartford,
third
I
round.
think.
I could be wrong. Maybe he was a
I
third
think he
round
was
pick.
second.
Let's see.
Because then they took that guy with the long last name. I think that draft in the third round. It was like McConnell Barker or something. I think I remember.
He was a second round pick in 2022.
Yeah. See what are his stats at Hartford? Let's see. What the heck? All right, here we go. So last year he played 71 games, had 9 goals, 21 assists, and 30 points.
I don't think there's really a spot on the team for any of these guys, though.
No, they just continue to draft left wings.
They do that well, and not in the sense of the guys turning out good. They just know how to draft a lot of left wings.
Yeah.
So
what in 2-3 seasons he's been what? So that's 30. He's had 53 career points in Hartford,
so he's like,
20 or
what is he, like
17
21?
goals.
He's like 21, probably 22.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
During
20.
the
I
Hartford
don't know.
playoffs in 22-23, he had an assist. Last year, 2 years ago, he had 3 assists. He's 20.
A whopping 1 assist.
Yeah. He'll be 21 in September, so he's 21 for this season.
All right. Well, I guess he'll be another one of the Rangers' bus. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he was a second round pick, so
Jesus Christ! I mean, how many guys on this team have been drafted by the Rangers?
He won't be very good. I mean, he's never even come up. So
since 2021, the Rangers probably have no draft picks on the team, unless Edstrom and Rempe were drafted after 2021.
You mean 2021 onward?
Yeah, I mean, well,
yeah, nobody.
I guess Perot and Othman, but they haven't really played that much.
Yeah.
You think Othman is going to be good?
Probably not.
I
mean, he's got to score a goal first.
Okay, so here's one: Berard, Perot, and Othman. Who scores the most points out of those 3 guys?
Berard, Perot, Othman. Honestly, part of me says Berard.
You think Berard puts up like 30 points next year?
Honestly, I think Berard's. Yeah, I do.
You think Lafreniere over under 50.5 points?
15.5?
No, 50.
50. I was about to say
15. He should. I mean, if he doesn't get 50 points,
50.5, probably under. I mean, he's only had 50 once, right?
Yeah,
over 50 once. So probably under, yeah.
Panarin 87.5.
Over. Yeah, because he still had 90, didn't he, last year?
Yeah.
Where was he last year? He'll get over. No, he had 89 last year. But yeah, he'll get over 87.5. 87.5, yeah.
What about
I think
Miller 79.5?
79. That's I mean, if he plays like he did when he came over, he was a point per game player. He had I think he had 70 on the dot, I believe, combined Vancouver Rangers last year? 79. I'd probably say under. I think he'll be at like 67 to like 73.
You think? Okay,
I don't think he'll
Zibanejad.
get close to 80.
Okay,
I think he's gonna be
Zibanejad
80.
over under 61 points and 61 and a half.
61 and a half.
Yeah.
Probably over, because I think he was over that last year. I think he'll probably have low 60s. He'll be like 63. I mean, I think he had what, 60? He might have had. He was like just over 60 this year. I'd probably say over. I mean, but he could regress. He could have a horrible year. He's only getting older. It's possible that he's under that, but I can't believe how long he's been here and how much longer he's going to be here.
Yeah, he's going to be to like 30 or 31, right?
Yeah, I think it's the 2030, 31, yeah. God, that sucks.
So everyone buckle up for many more years of Mika Zibanejad.
To be fair, though, Mika was, in a way, the king of garbage time this season because
Did
he was a point-per-game player in April. They played 8 games, and he had 11 points. So he was the king of garbage time. Once the team was eliminated, Mika said, I'm here. I'm ready to roll.
Maybe we tell him before the season, and we're like, hey, can we talk to you, Mika? We'll get him like the coach's front office or in his office, and we'll get him talking to Sullivan. So I'm like, hey, listen, I have bad news. We're already eliminated from the playoffs, so none of those games matter out there. And then maybe puts up like 100 points.
I mean, he was going to be under 20 goals, and he went out there against Tampa and scored 2. So
that's so funny.
He had that was the most fraud 20-goal season of all time.
Then he had his moment with his boyfriend.
Yep, one final time. Yep.
You think like all these guys are gonna get standing ovations? Like, you think what do you think the Rangers fans thought on like Trouba? Like, they're probably gonna cheer him, right?
Yeah, I think they'll cheer more for Kreider. I don't really think any Ranger fan liked Trouba that much, to be honest.
You think Zibanejad will give him a big hug, Kreider?
Probably. Zibanejad will let Kreider score that game.
You think he'll cry? I think Kreider's
know for a fact they're going to go out to dinner like the night before the game.
Yeah, they're going to have something like the press conference. Like, they're going to be talking
Yeah.
like a bunch of the guys went out to dinner with him.
Yeah, they're going to say that. Yep. I know that. That's definitely going to happen.
I think Kreider's going to cry.
You think?
Remember he cried when like we lost like the playoff series to the Lightning, and then like
yeah,
that was kind of pussy shit for him. He was kind of a baby.
Yep. Him and Mika sat there. He cried as Mika consoled him.
That's so stupid.
That's what real friends do. But anyway, any closing thoughts?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we got Gavrikov. I'm a little disappointed that the Miller trade wasn't done yet, but more likely than not, Miller's gone. I mean, who knows? Maybe there'll be something big up in the works that we don't even think about, and they'll make some huge move. And I highly doubt it, but I'm happy to get rid of Miller. There's time to move on from Kreider.
Yep.
You get to keep that pick next year. Hopefully, you get another pick in the first round next year, and we'll see what Gavrikov is. I mean, I'm sure the Ranger fans will give him time to get adjusted. Obviously, no one will be calling for his head in the first week of the season, probably.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the Ranger fans. We'll see. I mean,
but look, so make a good first impression. Go out there and have a good, strong first week, and don't.
But the thing is, do you know who had a good first impression? Was Trouba.
That's
scored
true.
in his first game. So
that is true.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm curious to see what they get back in that Miller trade and see if anything else happens. But yeah,
just now from Elliot Friedman about the Miller trade. A few of you asked me to update this. We will get clarity eventually. Long story short, the Hurricanes looked at an offer sheet for Miller, and the two teams worked out a trade instead. I'd expect the return to be along the lines of what offer sheet compensation would look like. That was 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. So I guess we should look this up really quick to see what that is. Because if we're guessing $7 million, that's like multiple picks. But maybe they undercut the offer sheet. So
Let's
let's see.
see.
Offer sheet, NHL.
So if it's 7 million to 9 million, it's a first, a second, and a third.
So I'm gonna say they're gonna get a first, second, and a third from him then.
Yeah. If it's
You know what? I think they're gonna. You know what? I actually take that back. I think they're gonna get a first and a third.
Yeah, that's the 4 million to 7 million range.
I think they're gonna give him.
Right.
Oh, I think they're gonna give him the compensation worth the first, second, and the third, and I think they're gonna just pay a first and a third.
Yeah. Because I think he's gonna get a similar contract to what Gavrikov probably got. That 7 million range. Yeah.
Maybe they'll get a first and a second.
Could be.
It seems like.
I mean, I'd take a first for him.
But you know what though? It's an in-division trade, so you think the Rangers should get the benefit of the trade, where they get more. Where maybe the offer sheet, maybe they were gonna do a deal in the first and the third, and the Rangers got a first and a second. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It could be.
We'll see.
I just hope it gets done by today.
Yeah.
What is it? 11? Geez, 4 first for the 11 million.
Dang. Maybe they give him 11 million.
4 first round picks. That'd be funny.
Hey, at least we know we're in the top. That pick will be a top. It'll be a top 30 pick because they're 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 not getting to the finals.
No, they never will. Neither will we though. So, but we do smoke we own Carolina
in the playoffs. But then they'll bring up the qualifying round, which doesn't count because
it doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
The qualifying round. What a joke. That qualifying round was so depressing. Those are the last images of Henrik Lundqvist. That was sad.
Yeah.
That was such a joke. Anyway, that'll finish it. We'll probably be back in a couple days tomorrow, maybe. Depends on kind of what else happens. Any other moves.
Connor McDavid gets traded to the Rangers.
What do you say?
When Connor McDavid inevitably gets traded here.
Yeah. That's the next move. We talked about it earlier. The next big move. It's not the Mika trade. It's the McDavid trade. So, we'll be back some point the rest of this week, recapping kind of free agency as a whole, any other trades that happen, any other signings. I assume they're going to probably make another. I think they'll make another depth signing or two. So we'll be here for that. But appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.